Hey all, Heretic here with another Hearthstone Battleground Player's Guide, and I'm here to bring you the information you need to help you win with Galewing. So get comfy and let's dive in. First, let's talk about the hero power Dungar's Griffin. This costs 0 gold and reads, choose a flight path, complete it to get a bonus. So this is a pretty good hero power. I mean, it's got 3 options. We'll get into those options and what we can do with them just a second. Let's look at what they are first. Let's unpack them. So first we have Westfall. In one turn, give your leftmost minion +2 attack this turn. +2 attack, pretty simple, your leftmost minion. Nothing really to think about here, simple. Next is Ironforge. In 3 turns, discover a minion of your tavern tier. This one, a whole lot better. So 3 turns after you hit this button, you're gonna get a minion from the tavern tier you're in. You're in tavern tier 2, you're only gonna get a 2. You're in 6, you're getting a tier 6 minion. It's going to be from the tier you're in. So it's pretty useful in targeting things, and as you get higher tiers, the pools get smaller, so you're more likely to probably find what you're looking for. And at least as you get to the higher tiers, find something to help you with direction and a little more power. Finally, Eastern Plaguelands. In 5 turns, your next tavern tier upgrade costs 5 less. This one's a little trickier. This used to be very good. Right now, it's kind of not. I'm sure there's scenarios where this one is good. There's definitely going to be lobbies where you get into a weird setup where your board's perfect. And it's like, oh, well, I'm tier 5, everything's great. You know what? I'm going to hit Eastern Plaguelands and essentially go to 6 for free because I don't need to go to 6. Even then, you almost rather have the free minion from Ironforge every 3 turns, but there's going to be scenarios where this is useful. And if the meta changes, I'm certainly sure that this can come back into being a really powerful one. But right now, basically, it's a hero with 3 options for his hero power that you're always only going to use the second one. Ironforge is by far the most value. Every 3 turns, a free minion from the tier you're at is pretty awesome. This is the one you're going to hit pretty consistently, with a couple weird exceptions. You're almost never going to want to use Westfall. I'm sure there's a scenario where it's good. Can't think of it off the top of my head, and before I, cobbled all my information and did my research, I still couldn't really find an issue where I'd want this. It just, Now, when I'm tiering with Galewing, I do one of 2 things. Almost always, I go 3 on 3. 3 on 3 is great. You're going to get a lot more tier 3 minions, giving you a lot more value because of the nature of the hero power. It really does work. That being said, if the lobby is really aggressive with some high tempo heroes, maybe that's not the way to go. If it's turn 3 and you're about to go 3 on 3 and you see you're fighting a Millhouse and they're still tier 1, and you hang around and watch it and they're staying tier 1, you're gonna take a lot of damage. And if you took some damage in the previous turns, maybe this isn't the angle 3 on 3. In those lobbies, I'll do a basic curve. And that's true of any time. You shouldn't stick to any of these tiering guides, because the lobby can make it so you should change. So always be aware that sometimes, while yes, this is a really good path, maybe in your particular game, in your particular lobby and how your game's going, this is just gonna be in 8th place if you try doing 3 on 3. If you've already taken 8 damage, 10 damage, and you're in that scenario and you're looking to take another 8 to 10 damage, that's not a good idea. Do not do this. Do the basic curve at that point. Pivot into something, a little more tempo oriented, a little less greed oriented. But typically the 3 on 3 gets you some really good value, so it's worth a little damage in the early game. Now, the minions and strats I like to use when I'm playing Galewing, it depends. So if I went 3 on 3, you should be getting a lot of value. These minions are typically better. Yes, there are the days where you're going to go 3 on 3. You're going to get your tier 3 minion from your hero power, and the shop is full of tier 1s. And you're going to refresh it, and it's going to be tier 1s. Nothing you can do about those games. But typically, the majority of the time, you're going to find a lot more value in those shops because you're tier 3 on turn 4, which is massive. And you should be getting a lot better minions, so you should be able to compete with the people who are doing basic curve. The person who's doing a warrior curve and hasn't even found a triple, you should be able to beat them pretty consistently and cobble together a really effective board pretty quick. Now, if you do basic curve, just go tempo. Grab all the pairs you can, try to set up quality triples, and go tempo. And as soon as you can get to those higher tiers, you're going to get more value out of your hero power. Like I said, you don't want to do basic if you can help it, but there's certainly taverns where you need to, or you're just going to get 7th, 8th place, and none of us want that. Now, when it comes to countering Galewing, it's your normal game of BGs. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just remember a couple things. If they go 3-on-3, maybe you want to tier up a little faster because they're going to have 1 to no minions. If it's turn 4, maybe you need a lot more tempo because now they're going to have the free tier 3 minion. They're going to get, multiple possible tier 3 minions that are actually good, and you're going to be in for a fight and you might take a lot of damage. So just keep track of what turn it is. Don't worry about it too much in the later game. Just counter them like you normally would and have fun with the game. And real quick, if you don't want to miss the next guide, please click subscribe. This helps me get you the guides you need to help you get a little better at the game, pick up some knowledge, and hey, it helps keep me motivated to keep making these guides so I get better at the game, so we all win, unless we're in each other's lobbies. But if that's the case, you already know the strats I'm going to do, so you have a good idea how to beat me. Overall, I really enjoy Galewing. Galewing is just a high-risk, high-reward hero that is going to leave you struggling in the early to mid-game to really shining in the later mid-game to late game. You're going to do really well once you start picking up those tier 3s, once you start getting those triples. And if you can get to 6 early, you get the grease bot, hopefully before the nerf, because it's coming, you know it is, then you really can run away with the game. It's just more fun to have that high risk and high reward. And if you get blown out early, yeah, you finish 8th, but at least the game's over quick. You can move on to the next one. Overall, though, Galewing is a really good hero. Just really can give you some good rewards. And because it's the Discover at that Tavern tier, you really can get some nice minions. I mean, we all have the bad RNG games. Some days you're not going to get the minions you want. Some days you're going to have to pivot. And some days you're just going to lose. But if you do it consistently and you play it smart, you're going to find the minions you need. And hopefully I've helped you with the information today so we can both get some more wins, right? So stay tuned. I have more guides on the way. I hope you learned a few things today and had a good time. I know I did. Bye.